Calling to order the Cuyahoga County regular meeting for Tuesday, February the 28th. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the roll, Ms. Baker. Here. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Here. Mr. Schron. Here. Ms. Conwell.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Mr. Hairston. Here. Ms. Simon. Here. Council President Brady.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't have any silent meditation for this evening. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to indicate? All right, we'll move into public comment related to the agenda, remembering that the agenda does not have the queue, is not part of the agenda. People who want to speak on the queue will speak after the meeting in the area for comment unrelated to the agenda. Is there anyone signed up for comment related to the agenda?
No, Mr. President.
All right. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes for February the 14th, 2017 Committee of the Whole and February the 14th, 2017 regular meeting. I'll make the motion. Any second?
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The minutes have been approved. There is no announcement from the council president, except that I'm pleased that we had a good 3 hours of good discussion and questions and answers. We've been waiting for our chance at this for a couple of weeks. And I thought we had a great diversity of questions and very intriguing areas that we were able to go into. And I also thought that a lot of the answers were quite impressive as well. But we certainly have some things that we would like to know more about. And so with that, is there any message from the county executive?
Yes, Mr. President. I want to echo your comments. The Quicken Loans Arena deal is a complicated deal, and I commend the council for their obvious study of the issue and their questions. They were quite good. One last item. Last Friday, we met with our state, House, and Senate representatives. Our delegation, Councilman Miller, joined us. We talked about the state budget. We talked about a number of issues pending both in the budget and in other legislation that impact the county. We noted our top 10 asks, and our number one ask is fixing the cuts to the Medicaid managed care sales tax, which will cost us in the range of, I believe, about $23 million a year. And it will cost RTA about $18 million a year. So that's obviously our number one concern. And we did have a good conversation with our state delegation about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll keep you posted as it moves along.
All right. Well, we certainly desperately need some consideration by the state in these areas. Legislation introduced by the council, committee report and consideration of a resolution for council for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the
A
rules.
second. And moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules have been suspended. Clerk, please read into the record.
Resolution number 2017-0020, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
Move to adopt.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this item was heard in the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee meeting, and just an update and on some of the classifications that we have in our system. I respectfully request that my colleagues will support this resolution.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Legislation introduced by the executive. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, this is under the consideration of a resolution for first reading adoption and suspension of the rules. Clerk, please read the item into the record.
Resolution number 2017-0035, amending the 2016-2017 biennial operating budget for 2017 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations for appropriation transfers and for cash transfers, and amending two resolutions as printed on the agenda in order to reconcile appropriations for 2017.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
Mr. President.
Councilman.
My colleagues, this is the regular bi-monthly fiscal agenda. We addressed questions to Budget and Management. They answered them satisfactorily. The answers to the questions are on your desks. And the most salient items are $2,280,000 set aside in advance, anticipating that the law firms that we've employed to collect back due property taxes for us will be successful, and this will be their share of the collection. And fire damper work, $118,000. Airport construction phase 3 and 4, $15 million, but we will have 90% federal reimbursement available. Syntax, $13 million. This is 1/3 of the share that we're sending to the city of Cleveland in relation to First Energy Stadium, and also the general fund is receiving the reimbursement back of $20 million for the Huntington garage construction. I ask for your approval.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Thank you, Councilman. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution number 2017-0036, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Carol Dayton to serve on the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging Board of Trustees for the term January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2019.
I refer this to Human Resources Committee.
Resolution number 2017-0037, authorizing an amendment to contract number CE 0600-382 with K&Z Mutual Realty as successor in interest to Mutual Investment Properties for lease of office space located at 9830 Lorraine Avenue, Cleveland, for the period October 1, 2006 through September 30, 2016, to extend the time period to September 30, 2021, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,402,495.
Public Works.
Resolution number 2017-0038, authorizing an agreement with Ohio Department of Administrative Services in the amount not to exceed $1,750,000 for data center co-location services for the period January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2021.
Finance.
Resolution number 2017-0039, making awards to various municipalities, each in the amount not to exceed $150,000 for various municipal grant projects for the 2017 Community Development Block Grant Municipal Grant Program for the period April 1, 2017 through December 31, 2017 to the communities and for the projects as printed on the agenda.
Community Development.
Resolution number 2017-0040, making awards to various municipalities and nonprofit organizations in the total amount of $998,966 for various projects in connection with the 2017 Community Development Supplemental Grant Program for the period April 1, 2017 through December 31, 2017 to the communities in the amounts not to exceed and the projects as listed on the agenda.
Go to Community Development.
Resolution number 2017-0041, authorizing various revenue-generating agreements with Council for Economic Opportunities in Greater Cleveland for lease of space at various Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disability Centers for operation of Head Start and preschool programs for the period February 1, 2017 through January 31, 2020 for the locations and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda.
Education and Environment.
Resolution number 2017-0042, authorizing amendments to agreements and contracts with various providers for neighborhood collaborative services for the Family to Family Neighborhood System of Care program for the period April 1, 2014 through March 31, 2017, to extend the time period to March 31, 2018, and for additional funds for the agreements and the contracts as printed on the agenda.
Referred to Health and Human Services.
And resolution number 2017-0043, making an award and requisition number 38042 to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount not to exceed $553,000 for adult guardianship services for the period January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2017.
Be referred to Health and Human Services. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution number 2017-0023, confirming the county executive's appointment of the Honorable Anthony J. DeSico to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission representing the Hillcrest region for the term January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2019. Second reading. This is second reading,
Oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
President.
That's right. We all got confused. This item will be moved to the March 14, 2017 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2017-0025, confirming the county executive's reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Cuyahoga Community College Board of Trustees for various terms and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the individuals and the terms as printed on the agenda.
We'll also move to the March 14th meeting for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The rules have been suspended.
Resolution number 2017-0024, confirming the county executive's reappointment of the Honorable Timothy J. DeGeeter to serve on the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District Board of Trustees for the term March 1, 2017 through February 28, 2022.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this item was heard in the in the Human Resources Appointment and Equity Committee, and Mayor DeGeeter is being reappointed to this Board of Trustees and has served with great pride and comes highly recommended by the administration, so I respectfully request my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0026, making an award on requisition number 38497 to Perk Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $6,913,335.59 for resurfacing Turney Road from Warner Road to Hathaway Road in the cities of Cleveland and Garfield Heights, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $5 license tax funds in the amount of $3,111,001.02 to fund said contract.
Motion?
Move. Mr. President?
Yes. All right.
Okay. Mr. President, on February 22nd, 2017, Public Works Committee met and were presented by Mr. Marquardt and Ms. English from the Department of Public Works regarding this contract. And this is in District 8, covering Warner Road to Hathaway Road, resurfacing an area of 3.4 miles of pavement base, and they're going to be installing EDA curb ramps. This went to the lowest and best bidder, and it's set to begin March 2017 and conclude September of 2018. And I would appreciate my colleagues' support on this, moving this along.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have my name added to the resolution.
Please add the councilman's name.
On there. Your name's on there too.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right.
Resolution number 2017-0027, making an award on requisition number 37349 to Mott McDonald in the amount not to exceed $2,143,423 for design engineering services for repair and resurfacing of Sprague Road from Webster Road to York Road in the cities of Middleburg Heights, North Royalton, Parma, and Strongsville.
Move to adopt.
Second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, again, we met on Public Works met on February 22nd, 2017. And Nicole English of Public Works presented this project to us. This is a professional services contract for design and engineering and environmental with respect to this project going through Middleburg Heights, North Royalton, Parma, and Strongsville. This is part one of a two-part project, and I guess it's been in the works for some time. And I would request that my colleagues support movement on this project as well.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0028, making an award on requisition number 38634 to J.D. Williamson Construction Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,696,926.45 for replacement of Avery Road Bridge number 01.16 over Chippewa Creek in the city of Broadview Heights, authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in the amount of $339,385.29 to fund said contract.
Second.
Mr. President, on February 22nd, 2017, the Public Works Committee met, and again, Mr. Marquardt presented this project to us. It's in District 6, replacing and widening the structure, the bridge over there, and it went to the lowest and best bidder and meets all diversity requirements. It's set to begin in March of 2017 and conclude in November of 2017, and I would ask that my colleagues support this project moving forward as well.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0029, amending the 2016-2017 biennial operating budget and capital improvements program for 2017 by revising projects, estimated costs, and schedule.
To adopt.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President and my colleagues, we now have greater information on the specific list of projects than we did when the 2017 list was originally constructed in 2015, and this resolution simply updates the capital improvement projects list to reflect current thinking. The administration has advised us that there probably will be some additional amendments to the capital improvement plan later on in the year, so we will look for those, but this is the current state of our knowledge, and I ask the approval of my colleagues.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0031, making awards on requisition number 36437 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $650,000 for environmental consulting services for the period October 1, 2016 through September 30, 2019. Additionally, the agenda should have read for the committee assignment and chair as Economic Development and Planning with Councilman Schron as the chairperson. My apologies for that error.
Move to adopt. Second. The comments on in regards to this is that this is a panel that will be reviewing the brownfields, and so we have a master service agreement in place. Just for the record, my firm did use Hull and Associates about 12, 15 years ago on brownfield reclamation. We have no financial investments. We have no connection whatsoever. They were a service provider to us when we cleaned up the Collinwood Railroad yards 15 years ago, and just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes?
Prior to this contract, these brownfield projects were done one project at a time, and we had to make a separate contract for the assessment for each one, and this development of a master contract is going to enable us to move these contracts more expeditiously, and I urge the support of my colleagues.
Thank you, Councilman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0032, authorizing an agreement with Chagrin Valley Dispatch Council in the amount not to exceed $2,545,000 for countywide criminal justice data sharing system services for the period March 1, 2017 through February 28, 2022.
Move to adopt.
Been seconded.
Mr. President, I'd like to have my name put on this. It was only 4 or 5 years ago, they were trying to stop this, this particular one, so I'm just thrilled to death that it's in place, and it's doing a fabulous job out there and supporting the various, I think we're up to 12 or 13 communities, I think, in there right now.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
This actually has been a project that we've been trying to do here in Cuyahoga County for, well before we even were in existence. Director Carney's here if there's any questions, but Chagrin Valley will be hosting our shared data with the city of Cleveland, who has finally agreed to come on board, which was a key in getting this done. When this is implemented and up and running, all of our police departments and courts and everyone will have real-time information on the road as to the individuals that they have in front of them, and it can only serve to make things better and safer for all intended.
Congratulations to the chair of this committee on that.
That goes to Mr. Bova, his team, and Director Carney, believe me.
All right. Thank
I'd
you.
like to add my name, Mr.
Are you
Chair.
involved?
Yeah,
Any other comments?
just add my name with Councilman Brown.
Add Councilwoman Simon's name, Councilman
Add mine as well.
Brown's name, Councilman Jones' name. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it, the resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0033, authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for staff secure and secure shelter care services for the period March 1, 2016 through February 28, 2018 for additional funds as printed on the agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
Mr. Chairman, this is a furtherance of an existing contract for juvenile court. This is, instead of putting these juvenile defenders behind bars, this affords them opportunity to be in secured shelter or an open shelter where they report back. It's something that has been watched and has been evaluated as something that works, and we highly recommend the county pass this.
Say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it, the resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 2017-0034, authorizing an amendment to master contract number CE 16056 for various services for the Cuyahoga Tapestry System of Care for the period March 1, 2016 through December 31, 2018, to change the total amount not to exceed from $5,700,000 to $8,102,048.20, and to authorize funding increases with various previously approved providers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Councilman Brady, this amendment was fully vetted in committee. The funding increases are only on for the following centers, which were Applewood, Catholic Charities, Presley Ridge, and Beechbrook. The remaining three, there was no funding increases for it, and everything was vetted. And all the funding is available in the 2017 operations budget, so we could ask that council passes.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Just, Mr. Chairman, just wanted my name added, that's fine.
Please add Councilman Harrison's name to the resolution. Consideration of a resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution number 2017-0015, authorizing a sole source contract with Manatron Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $536,429.92 for support and maintenance services for the Manatron Visual Property Tax System and Sigma Gamma software system for the period January 1, 2017 through December 31, 2017.
Move to adopt.
Been moved and seconded.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution renews our contract with Manatron Incorporated to maintain software required for keeping property tax records. The contract is for $536,000, covers calendar year 2017, and is paid for completely through the Real Estate Assessment Fund with no general fund impact. And I ask for the support of my colleagues.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Thank you, Councilman. Miscellaneous committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. Mr. Chair, the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee will meet at its regularly scheduled time on Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
HHS committee will meet at 1 o'clock on March 8th, and there will also be a presentation from the Center for Community Solutions with an update from the state of Ohio overall overview as well as the budget.
Public Works will meet on March 8th at 10 a.m., the regular scheduled time.
Mr. President, my colleagues, the Finance and Budget Committee will meet at its regularly scheduled time, which is Monday, March 6th at 1 p.m. And presuming that what I'm here is correct, the Committee of the Whole will not meet a week from today. We would have a Transportation Advisory Subcommittee on Tuesday, March 7th at 1 p.m.
And that's true. The Committee of the Whole will not be meeting next Tuesday.
Mr.
Anybody
Chair,
else?
CD committee will meet Monday, March 6th.
All right. Anyone else?
Environment, March 8th at 3.
All right. Are we done? Very good. Any other miscellaneous business before the council? Hearing none. Any public comment unrelated to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, there
All
is.
right.
First, I would like to recognize that there were 3 letters that were received, and council will receive copies of those. I'll send them electronically tomorrow, having to do with the Q Transformation Project. We received a letter from Mayor Summers of Lakewood, a letter from Jim Rokakis from the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. This is the one that Mr. Komorowski was discussing last week when the Committee of the Whole met. And then finally, a letter from the Mayors and Managers Association.
Thank you. Next.
Okay. The first speaker is Mr. Norman Edwards.
Hi, good afternoon, Council President Brady, County Executive Budish. I'm here today speaking once again on behalf of the Quicken Loans Arena deal and how we in the Black community feel that it should go forward. We are seeing changes in the community. We are doing training that's free. So we do have a couple of training sites that are set up free. And matter of fact, we have 20 students or 20 ex-felons that will be coming from Cuyahoga County Juvenile Center. Is that right, Quentin? Juvenile Center that we're going to put into pre-apprenticeship classes. And we're working with the building trades unions to transition them when they get through working with us. We're putting them to work, okay, as tradesmen, okay? Going into bricklayers, they're going into the unions to make union scale. So we're putting things into motion. I've been coming to these meetings for a long time. I'm sick of them bashing Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert did not put the Black community in the shape that we in, okay? He did not dig the hole for the Black community. So the robbings, the shootings, the muggings, the Black on Black crime, that's on us as Black people. That's not Dan Gilbert, it's not the Cavaliers. We've got a lot to do to dig ourselves out of the hole. We are doing something, I'm not a preacher. I pray 30, 40 times a day for the murders and the rapes and whatnot to stop. I have kids, I have daughters, I have sisters, family members. You guys have, I want everybody to be safe. That's my goal in life, is for everybody. I can tell you this, in the 8 years that I've dealt with that man, the 30% has been there and then some. And I want to just close saying that, let me see. Dan Gilbert, we can only hope, will continue to support people, projects, and programs that are for the betterment of our neighborhoods and community. I stand here today to meet with anybody, any organization, to discuss the social ills of our community. However, I think that it's not the proper forum for that discussion to take place. In summary, it is the hope of myself, my organization, and other active stakeholders in the greater Cleveland-Cuyahoga community that this current resolution to upgrade the Cleveland-Cuyahoga County Quicken Loans Arena be passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
Next speaker is Michael Belkin.
guessing unless there's a Michael Belkin here.
We'll straighten that out for the record.
Yeah. Just bring it by here. I've never been to one of these. Thank you for letting me speak. I watched the YouTube clip of last week's meeting, and there was a couple assumptions that were presented to you that didn't go unchallenged, which I think need to be challenged. One of them is the queue is so old, outdated. It's already past its natural lifetime, and this renovation is needed in order to make it compete. Here are some stats. The queue is one of 16 arenas in the NBA built in the 90s, and there were 20 arenas in the NHL built in the 90s. Outside of the rare exception, all of these arenas believe that they should be able to operate way past 50 years old. Similar to the queue, all of these arenas built in the 90s have continually gone through multiple renovations, but the supporters claim that the public funding split here is something that every other city does, and this is what we need to stay competitive. Let me just give you a list of a couple other arenas in other cities where this is not the case. First of all, in Chicago, they're just about completed with a $100 million 6-story addition onto the United Center. Now that's above and beyond the multiple renovations they've done there, 100% privately financed. Now what you'll hear is, well, that's a bigger city, that's different. Okay, well then we go to Salt Lake City, where they are just finished, they just got approved and will start at the end of this year, a $125 million upgrade, which is 82% financed by the owner. Now, Jackie said 75, but it's actually 82, close enough. Then let's go to St. Louis, another arena that was opened in 1994 like us. The city aldermen are considering $67.5 million to be funded over the next 20 years to help a renovation that includes a Jumbotron scoreboard, new locker rooms, remodeled concession stands, sound, upgraded seating. A lot of this is the stuff that in 2014 we gave the Q $23 million to. So they're giving them $63 million over the next 20 years, and in turn we're giving I think it was 121 over the next 17 years. In Tampa, another arena that opened in 1994. Over the last 4 years, the city has self-funded $60 million in renovations, and in 2015, they asked for the next $25 million to be split, so a grand total of $12.5 million. What we are asking for is not even close to the scale. It's way beyond the scale of all these other arenas, and one of the big things we're told is, hey, these are the rules of the games, this is what all these other cities are doing, but it's just not true. You look at what other cities are doing, the bigger cities are completely self-funded almost, and these smaller cities, it's very rare. The only other city with even comparable as bad of a deal is Atlanta, but Atlanta at least got an 18-year extension, taking their lease to expire in 2046, making it a 52-year-old arena. I hope that you guys look at these comparables and realize this deal isn't as good as you're told. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Burkons.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Next.
if there was a Michael Belkin here who did sign in, you're up. If not, I'll move on. Peter Batanos? Patakos, I apologize.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon or evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is, again, Peter Patakos. I was the chairman of the Coalition Against the Sin Tax in 2014, and since then have participated in several public debates with representatives of the Cavaliers over the merits of these subsidies. While I live in Summit County, where I was born and raised, I've been a practicing attorney in Cleveland since 2007. My practice is focused on employee, consumer, and civil rights, and I'm very much concerned with the administration of justice here in Cuyahoga County and statewide, which is why I'm here to speak today. Because if this subsidy is approved for the reasons that the Cavaliers and their supporters are putting forward, the prospects for justice in Cuyahoga County are bleak, particularly social and economic justice and the transparent and fair use of public funds. As the crowd gathered here today earlier shows, and as Mr. Brady said, this was the biggest crowd that council has seen on any issue. It doesn't take an attorney to understand just how easily the scales of justice can be thrown off balance when a party or a group of parties dedicates enough money to doing so. And here I'm extremely concerned, as I was in 2014, with a highly orchestrated and heavily funded campaign led by the Cavaliers to distract the public from the fundamental truth at issue here, which is that the Cavaliers are asking for public money that they don't need and that the public can't afford. Simply that the public has extremely pressing alternative needs for these funds. So leaving aside Mr. Oftermatt's presentation, a highly expert, highly impressive 3-hour presentation on where this money will come from and how the project will be financed, how the community benefits will be structured, etc. The point is that this is hundreds of millions of dollars in public money that could be used to meet any of a number of other needs. And what's especially troubling about this is the way that the Cavaliers and the supporters of this subsidy distract from this fundamental truth. We don't even talk about it, hardly. I mean, a couple of you did. But that's not the focus of the discussion because we're too busy being distracted by two things, a myth and a threat. First, the myth, which is the Cavaliers tell us about the jobs that will be created by the project, the positive economic and social impact that they will have on the region. And here we can leave aside the fact that every credible study that's ever been published on this issue shows that these arena subsidies have, at best, a neutral economic impact. But they mostly conclude that these have a negative economic impact, that simply transfer economic activity from other businesses to the sports. But no one needs to deny that basketball is great and that it's great to have NBA basketball in town, particularly where the homegrown greatest player in the NBA is wearing the Cleveland jersey. Because the more important point is that even if the Cavaliers create as much of a positive impact as they claim, they never explain why they can't make this impact while paying for the subsidy, paying for the improvements themselves, which gets us to the threat. Because everybody with a brain, everybody in this room knows that the Cavaliers owner doesn't need these subsidies, and that the real reason he continues to get them is that the threat that he would pull the Cavaliers out of Cleveland if the public doesn't give him all the money that he wants. Of course, Ms. Baker brought this up, and this was really the most salient point of the 3 hours that this room was just packed for. And it's why it's especially important for everyone to consider just how absurd this threat is, that Mr. Gilbert and the NBA would abandon this profitable market, this loyal, rabid fan base, LeBron James's backyard, the greatest NBA player in history, basically, that the NBA would rip out of his backyard in the wake of LeBron's historic achievement here and the way he ended Cleveland's historic drought. And further to believe that Gilbert would do this and also walk away from the casino monopoly that Ohio voters granted him in 2009, his gigantic investment downtown, his huge Quicken Loans office, everything over not getting yet another handout that he obviously doesn't need and that ultimately amounts to peanuts for him. So to think that LeBron James and this community, or that even the NBA itself, would allow that to happen and vacate a profitable market just for such petty reasons, or to think that Gilbert would turn himself into such a villain, would turn himself into Art Modell but worse, by taking such an action. Who in Ohio would ever take out a Quicken Loan again? Now, I don't personally think Gilbert would ever do this, and I doubt that any of you do. But since this threat is the only real justification for these subsidies, we should analyze it on its merits and make conscious decisions about how best to deal with a so-called community partner who would play on Modell-era fears to hold the community hostage in such a way. That's what we should be talking about. That should be the terms of the discussion. This room was just packed with members of the public who sat through Mr. Oftermatt's 3-hour presentation that would have been much better served by having this discussion and would have been far more engaged if we'd had it. I realize that my time has run short, so I will close by emphasizing that I do not believe that businessmen are evil for seeking business advantages, or that some level of inequality isn't at some level unavoidable. But when people in power take more than they need, innocent people suffer needlessly. And it is very clear that this is what we are seeing in Cuyahoga County. Everyone should be against such needless taking and needless suffering, even the appearance of it, which is certainly what we have here. And we should do what we can to prevent it.
Thanks a lot.
Including by subjecting subsidies like this to real scrutiny as opposed
Thank you very
to
much.
caving to absurd
we
threats.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was wrapping up.
I know, we
was
let you
clear.
wrap
Thank
up,
you.
okay?
Thank you.
Very good. And, you know, I usually don't do this, but it was necessary that we have a 3-hour discussion about the finances of this project, because we haven't had a chance to do that with everybody giving speeches around here for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Thank you very much for being here.
That could have been done at another time. Why don't we public this?
Run for Summit County Council. Anybody else?
Denisha Cooper, I believe she left already. Reverend Linda Robinson. Ken Bender.
Is there anybody else here that wants to come up and speak?
What is your name, ma'am?
Good point.
Nope,
Come on up.
nope, it's right here.
Come on up, yeah.
I was just getting through where the people had already left. Go, come on up, ma'am.
Good evening, County Council. My name is Brenda Bickerstaff. I am a resident of the city of Cleveland and a voter of Cuyahoga County. I have a concern here about a gentleman that works for the Sheriff Department that was sworn in, that was a special deputy. His name is Dennis Hill. He is a former commander of the 5th District. Along with Dennis Hill, Vincent Lucarelli, who was a police officer in Cleveland, a detective, lied on me and had me falsely indicted back in 2012. For 3 years, he was off work. The so-called city of Cleveland tried to block him from getting his job back, but he got his job back. But what bothers me the most is that this man helped him orchestrate it through text messages. And here are some of the text messages. This is only a few, it's 30,000. And what bothers me is that he is a special deputy for the Cuyahoga County Sheriff Department. And I'm just letting you know, I don't want this man nowhere near me or near my family. And his name is Dennis Hill. And I'm very disappointed that the Cuyahoga County Sheriff Department would hire someone like this to be a special deputy that orchestrate and lie on people to get them indicted. And I got proof. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much for your time. Is there anybody else?
I'm not sure. Donna Weinberger, Gregory Terrell, Valerie Southern, Denisha Cooper, Chris Scarl. Miss Lou, you're up. You're it.
Wow, I thought the shortest person will be the last in line. I'm glad I'm here. Good evening. Last time when I was here, that was Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, due to the technical problem, I couldn't really had my public comments clearly showing what I was talking about. From about 6-7 years ago, the other gentleman talking about something like a monopoly, all those things. Yeah, to me, it sounds like a different organization instead of Cavaliers. 6-7 years ago, HUD already changed the guidelines. They really encourage all community in this country to devote their services and resources to the useful, efficient programs, which is a good idea. That's why lots of smaller homeless shelters, the specialty homeless shelters, were shut down for that reason. So in our community, our homeless shelter beds actually got decreased. That actually contributes to the lower number of the homeless people every year when we do the count. However, this actually doesn't really help this real situation. We actually have more homeless people than before. I remember I came here during the summer to report to you the update. The homeless families are really in big trouble. The overflow was full, the overflows were full too. This actually was a dinner I just saved the best part. I didn't show that right here. However, think about this. A service provider running the shelter, you know you have 180 to 200 people plus homeless families in there. Before they only order 130 servings of food for 180 to 200 people to consume. Last year, when the city, the water main, the sewage backed in, I have to thank our council member Conwell again. When I came here, she responded right away. She helped us to get the funding to renew the hot water tank and to increase beds. Otherwise, we were still having 130 serving foods for 180 to 200 or even more people. So in this case, I really do not understand why county would like to keep paying the same service provider to increase suicide attempts, to increase drugs overdose, to increase all the health hazards. You have EMS coming to both shelters multiple times daily because of all these. The funding you approve, if they have a better management, they would have done a way much better job. But for 13 years, they have done the job way less and less. Cause and effect. Why would you like to pay for that? Thank you.
That was the last one.